Hey there, folks. I'm here to argue with the internet a little bit about connection with the rifle. I think that might be a good topic. I put out a video a couple weeks ago about testing your rifle connection, mount and connection using the drill doubles. And yeah, let's go through and talk about some of the comments. Some guys had a little discussion in the comments. I think we should talk through it. So, just give you the 411, like basically basic principles here. I think we should firmly connect the rifle to us, right? Like, so I'm pulling back with my support side, a firm connection point here in my shoulder. Now, obviously, well, maybe not obviously, but I mean, I think I have the easiest time with this position, the more towards the center line mount. And like I said, firm connection back in. Now I'm not touching the gun with my firing hand here. That's intentional because my firing hand doesn't really do anything except for fire control. I don't like to feel any like torquing on the grip or anything like that. That's usually going to mean I'm getting a worse result. But yeah, just firm connection, shrug the gun up with my shoulder and go ahead and shoot targets like that. I think that's the easiest way to do it. Now, just like with a handgun, I think the important things to pay attention to here is predictability, consistency, that sort of thing. Not so much mitigating the amount of recoil or the amount of like muzzle rise as much as possible. I don't think you need to do that. Instead, like firm connection, consistency, predictability. That's the keys when with this. All right. So let's go into the comments for the discussion we had here. So this means absolutely nothing with a plate carrier on. You get what you can take. Of course, you don't want it to be loose and not too much tension with your support hand. Throw your shoulder forward and lean into it. All right, so I disagree with every part of that comment. So let me take through it piece by piece. So the principles like connection, predictability, consistency, that still means something if you have plates on. Let me grab my plates actually. So uh, thank you to Lucas for sending me plates, by the way. But with the way these plates are cut, like just the size of this thing, I cannot connect in the same spot here. But I'm not really focused on exactly where that connection point is. I would train to make it very, very consistent. So, a couple years ago, I was posting a lot of stuff on social where I was shooting this outboard mount where my rifle was connected here instead of, more towards the center. Why was I training like this? Well, this is for plates, right? So I can this spot here on my shoulder, like very much outboard mount here, like the same principles are going to apply. Like connect the rifle here, firm pressure back with my support side. Now, this is going to change the way the gun recoils. With this three-prong device on here, if I have like a center line mount, the recoil is going to be up to like 1230 and come back down. If I have the outboard mount, I would say it's more up to like 130. Like it slightly changes the angle of the dot tracking pattern. It feels a little bit more substantial, the recoil. But if I'm consistent with what I'm doing, the rifle is going to be very, very consistent. So just remember that, guys. If a principles-based approach, it's going to work for me no matter what. As the gear changes, I'm just going to make slight changes to what I'm doing. And again, like if I consistently train the same style of connection and emphasize predictability, the plates are not going to be a huge hindrance as long as I train the outboard mount. Okay. And he says, of course, you don't want it to be loose. Okay. Too much and not too much tension with your support hand. Um, no, I think like what you want is firm, like firm connection. That's important. I think you want to recognize grabbing the gun itself harder, like grabbing the heat guard here with my hand, like grabbing the rail harder is not doing anything for me. I mean, it's the pressure back into my shoulder, that consistency of that pressure. That's what I think you want to focus on. The next thing he put is throw your shoulder forward and lean into it. It's like I don't really agree with that either. I don't like that. So there's a lot of people that have that theory that you throw the shoulder forward and get as much of that, you know, like leaning into the gun type of thing as possible. I think, in my opinion, if my head's forward, like I have that just a slightly forward leaning posture, that's going to take care of like the recoil mitigation. What I want to do is shrug my shoulder up vertically. So just like straight up. Now, why an upward shrug? Because to me, that's much easier to do consistently, So if I'm in this position here, kind of waiting for something to happen, like I'm waiting to shoot, and then, okay, now it's time to shoot, I just shrug up, go from like this real high ready or the hunt position. Now it's time to shoot, shrug straight up. And again, I think that's easier to be consistent, just up rather than throw forward. The other thing I found is that if you have the cue in your head, like putting my shoulder forward into the gun is gonna help me with the recoil. Then when you feel like you're like bop 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 shooting, let's say shooting long targets and my sight's not coming back the way I want, then I'll like throw my shoulder into the gun to get the gun to come down. It's like that is not helpful, I don't think. All right, next comment. This is for competitive shooting, so plate carry isn't needed, and Ben Steger is one of the top shooters in the world, but the skill does transfer. It's like, to be honest, I did not take up a rifle. Whoops, I did not take up rifle shooting for competitive shooting. I just didn't take it up for that. It was for fun. Thought it'd be good. And for training, it's good. Okay, next, let's go to the reply. I know who Ben is. He doesn't mention throwing your shoulder forward at all. It's pretty important for recoil control. Going to the range and actually learning how you control the rifle itself is a better training tool than listening to pro shooters. There are many factors you should be aware of that he doesn't mention, such as weight of the rifle and how it swings, stance and movement, tension in your support hand that can throw your shots, how foregrips can affect your shots, your cheek weld, which can allow unnecessary tension, etc. Ben only gives you a taste, so you end up giving him your money in the end. No, I talk about the things that I thought were important, like if standing there talking about how foregrips affect this, I don't think is useful in any way. The weight of the rifle, of course, affects things, but if you're doing doubles and just testing your connection like this, the weight is going to be an advantage. Whereas if you have a more dynamic type of use case, you'll see the weight's not always an advantage. Okay, let's go to the reply. Haha, totally makes sense. The clips are hella short. They're only just giving us a taste as actual classes are long. You can't, you truly can't learn everything from the videos anyways, as you know. No, you could, the videos are just here for fun. They're here for fun. You guys take a look at it. When it comes down to it, my opinion would be you can't go to a class and have somebody else fix you. You can get some tips and get a different look at your shooting. You can get a different perspective, but always like the work is on you if you want to get really good at anything, including shooting. You're not gonna be awesome after just a 2-day course. Anyway, guys, that's enough of the rambling. Questions, comments, let's put it down below.